Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the new and improved website. We have merchandise, blogs, and of course the members only tab over there as well. You get some behind the scenes footage, you get some free clothing, some merchandise discounts, and all that great stuff that comes along with being a member. And also you get to chit chat with us each and every day. So it's a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brandon BC Combs, fresh off a clean cut, man. You look, so good.
They can't see that on Big X Radio, but I always do keep my hair nice and fresh. Kind of like Wyatt. I just keep mine a lot shorter and a lot neater than Wyatt and his little, mini fro that he's got going on.
Yeah, and speaking of mini fro, the screen is just blasting with volume and products right now, and I need to wipe out my eyes, but welcome Wyatt William to the show. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? And hey, it's not that I have more hair, it's that my hair actually grows past like an inch now. I'm not 700 years old, right?
I really like recording with you during the day now, because when the sun is shining through that window, I can't see none of that Green Bay Packers crap in your background.
I'll move it forward next time so you can see it, or I'll find a way to like block the light and we put a pillow up there.
No, you're good. You're good. Just go ahead and leave it shining.
I'll fix it for you. No worries. You complained. I duly noted it down, and we'll fix it.
So Wyatt, it is funny that you bring up the hair statement, and you only don't, and you can let it grow over an inch. Did you know back in college I had dreadlocks? Like I had dreadlocks down to my shoulders. I had to pull back like a man bun.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
Photos or it didn't happen.
You gotta have pictures of this, dude.
The reason why I ultimately shaved my head was because I got a interception and pulled down by my hair, and I'm like, oh, game over. She gone.
Yeah, that's not happening again. Oh my god. Do you have pictures of it?
I need to see pictures of you with dreads.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I believe every year right around like October time frame, I share that memory on my Facebook of like look how awesome my hair used to be.
Did you wear silver and gold grills too?
No, it was just that actually is just the color of my teeth anyway, so I don't need grills.
That's called yellow.
For no reason.
Oh, my bad. But speaking of gold and silver grills, Tom Brady did win his 7th Super Bowl ring, guys, just a week ago, and it was a Super Bowl for the ages, right? Tom Brady got his 7th. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got their 1st. And second, I'm sorry. And then the parade was just absolutely crazy. So if you guys have not seen the parade, you need to go YouTube Tom Brady on the boat. They're throwing the Lombardi Trophy back and forth. And what is that TV show where those two guys hang around with like the dead guy for like a weekend?
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's, and that's exactly what Tom Brady looked like getting off the boat. But Combs,
that man cannot handle his avocado tequila.
Yeah,
Ooh. He couldn't even type it correctly. If you watch on social media, he has like half of its caps, half of it's like not space. There's like some lower cases in it and all that. It's wild, man. He had a good time, that's for sure.
I think he did that on purpose, so.
Yeah, it was probably that Cam Newton font that Cam Newton always types his stuff encrypted in.
Oh God, I can't even read when that man types stuff. It's like
so horrible.
How do you even read what you're typing right now?
Have you seen the way Cam Newton dresses?
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that you can't read his typing is the least of his worries.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
That man looks like he is auditioning for the next Medea movie every time he comes out.
he dresses like my grandma.
The deal in the Super Bowl is going to be the next movie that comes out. Watch.
You guys understand
I see him hit
like $500 every time, though, right?
Oh, it's insane. But it looks like the same thing my grandma got from Goodwill like a week before. It's something I swear to God I've seen my grandma wear around in public before. It's like I've seen this before. I think we were at Walmart.
Michelle and Aubrey shop at some store. I can't even remember the name of it, but I go in there with them at the mall, and they're going through the store, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to go in the store and buy something." I get in there, and I'm like, every single one of these bags and everything that they have in here looks like they took my grandmother's old nightgowns and sewed them onto purses and bags, and like this is the most hideous stuff I've ever seen. But it's all like, $200, $300 for a bag. Like, I can't. Like,
some of those fashion designers, man, they get a little crazy on their prices and the product. It's like, it's a little weird. Like Supreme, that's one that like I actually like some of the Supreme stuff that they have out there. Supreme's in New York, but they have like some crazy stuff. Like they used to sell like bricks, right? And those bricks nowadays, it's literally just a brick that says Supreme on it, right? They go for like tens of thousands of dollars. Like, it's insane for a brick.
Like just like a brick, like that's just like on my wall, or like
literally
a brick of gold?
like just like a brick on your wall.
So if I'm spending $10,000 for a brick, I'm buying a brick of gold. So like there is no way I'm buying
or a brick of something else from Cuba.
Now, I will strongly pass on that 100%. We will leave that to Josh
That's a
Gordon.
Chicago thing.
But so speaking of a Chicago thing, there were many, many prop bets in the Super Bowl, one of which was the streaker. So Combs, give us a little breakdown of like what this prop bet was for the streaker and whatnot, so people know what we're talking about.
He was on a site. What's the name? You know the site? Why?
Bovita.
Bovita, and he puts down his bet on a plus 750, and he puts down a $50,000 bet that there will be a streaker in the Super Bowl. Has his friend go out first so that security's wrestling around with him, and then he jumps the wall and runs while security's busy, and goes all streaking, and I guess wins himself $375,000. Now, there have been reports that he's probably not going to get paid out. His friends aren't going to get paid out. But this is genius. The only stupid part he did was talk about it afterwards. I mean, it's one of those things, like, people tell you all the time, if you win the lottery, don't cash in the ticket, don't say nothing for over a month. Like, because if you start saying something, people are going to come. And when you announced it, that's when it took over, and now all of a sudden you might not get paid out, and that's a shame. Because to me, if I'm getting a lawyer, because if it did not say in the prop bet you cannot do the streaking yourself, then I win my bet. Like, I don't care what you say. There was nothing in there that says there will be a streaker not named whoever you are, or you can't do the streaking yourself. Then I don't understand it. Like that. That's a win bet. There was a streaker in the Super Bowl. You placed the bet. Now, Bovita or whatever, Bovado.
I think it's Bovada. I was ready to correct myself on that.
But Bovada, they come out and they say there was supposed to be $1,000 limit on the bet. So somehow he got $50,000 in there. I'm not sure how he did. Whether 50 of his friends put down $1,000 each or whatever the case is. But look, that's a genius idea. We are going to the Super Bowl next year, and we're going streaking, boys.
That's the thing, though. Like, I don't know if you can get a lawyer though and go after him, because they're a European-based betting site. So, like, first off, I don't know what the legality is behind that. I don't know if you're going to get in trouble with the law for betting through a European company. Second thing that I would be worried about is the European mafia coming after your neck, because you want your $375,000. Okay, you threw the bet. Okay, I think he should just take his money he didn't win and walk, so that way he doesn't have some gangster showing up to his door in the middle of his night, with a tarp that he's going to lay down in his living room and kill him. Like, I feel like he needs to take his money and walk, man. Take his life and walk, okay?
As long as Dexter isn't waiting for him in his living room or something.
Exactly.
Like that. But
John Wick pops out the closet.
I mean, so what are they going to do? Are they just going to... I'm all right with it if they give him his bet back. If they say, no, here's your $50,000 back, this bet's null and void. But to say, no, you lose $50,000... sports gambling is legal in Florida, which I'm pretty sure it is. If sports gambling and sports betting is legal in Florida, it doesn't matter what site I use it for. If you allow me to log in on my phone and place the bet, then I should get the winnings. And this guy should absolutely get the winnings. Or at the very least, if they decide, hey, or if they show them in some rule or something somewhere in fine print that it said you cannot alter, the bet by any means by doing
gambling
something yourself.
Sports betting is not gambling. Is not legal in the state of Florida. I just looked it up as of right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to excuse Wyatt here. It is still very early for him. His maids had to wake him up extra early this morning to get on the show here at Big X. He is not used to being up before noon or 1 o'clock. So he's gonna stumble a little bit here and there, guys.
So first things first, Wyatt, is like gambling can be illegal in Florida all you want, but there's a thing called VPN. You can download the VPN, and you can be anywhere in the world on your phone. Also, there's a thing called international waters. You can get on a boat, and you can drive out what comes like 15 miles or something like that away from the shoreline, and bada bing, bada boom, you're in international waters, and you can make all the bets you want. So
you can also get shot.
Right, but yeah. with that being said, first things first, is like this site to make a prop bet to where it could be swayed one way or the other. That's on them. That is 100% their fault. There is a reason why it's called Vegas odds, because Vegas always puts themselves in the best position to win. They are not going to put themselves in a position to where some type of bet can be swayed one way or the other. Now, of course, NBA refs like to do it all the time, shade points and like all that stuff. But they eventually get caught and they get executed, not executed, but prosecuted. Prosecuted, I should say.
Oh.
But cheat the NBA. You're a dead man.
but come on, pay this man his money. He can never go to an NFL game again. He probably can't even step in a major league stadium again, right?
Now this guy with you're talking about Vegas odds. Now Vegas is probably going to have, and these sportsbooks are going to have to start looking at because of the age that we live in, where people, you've got social media. So like Vegas had a thing out there where over under on the length of the national anthem, and while during practice was going on, there's somebody inside the stadium who is listening to the practice going on, tweeting out how long the national anthem practice is taking. Yeah. So people are getting these odds, and I get Vegas puts themselves in the best position to win, but if people know the outcome, they're not in the best position to win. So right. I think they're going to have to start looking at some of these prop bets as like, who can leak what, who can do what, because look, I'm not a guy who's ever been really big on cheating or any of that, but I am one of those
area. Play in that gray area.
I am one of those guys that some of those big corporations, I'm okay if they lose out every once in a while. And Vegas is one of those big corporations. I'm all right if they lose out. So if I'm working in the stadium and I get to listen to the whatever, the national anthem, if I'm the guy putting the Gatorade in the damn bucket, I'm betting on the color of the Gatorade. Yeah. All of that stuff is odds and it's money. I'm taking as much as I can, and I'm doing. So they're going to have to figure something out, because I don't think some of these prop bets, with the way that social media is now and the way that things can leak. If I'm putting Gatorade in the bucket, I'm texting Buck, I'm texting Wyatt, I'm texting my mom, I'm texting my dad. Put all this money down on this color Gatorade on each team, because this is what's coming out.
And then speaking of Gatorade, did you guys see the thing that happened? So we had the streaking thing with betting, but did you guys see what happened with the Gatorade?
No, it came out clear, didn't it?
No. It cut away. The TV showed them about ready to dump it, and then the TV was on Andy Reid. They lift the bucket, and then it cuts. It cuts away. Everybody missed it. Everybody lost their mind. There was some random fan. Okay, his name is Jack Settleman. I think he does Snapback Sports on Snapchat. I've been following him for years. Right? Yep. He took a video at the stadium, panning across at the celebration, and somehow randomly got a video of this blue Gatorade, right?
Yep.
And he posted on Twitter, not thinking anything of it, because he was at the game. He had no clue that they didn't get the blue Gatorade. His video went viral in like 5 seconds because everybody went nuts trying to find out what color it was because they couldn't see. So once it went viral as to what color it was, the last time I checked, I don't even know. I'll pull it up for you here in a minute. But I mean, it went nuts. Barstool was reposting it. DraftKings, every single sports book. He put this on his Snapchat story. Every single sports book that you could even imagine had his video on their Twitter, and like all these ESPN, all of them were retweeting it because nobody saw it on the live feed. So everybody was going nuts trying to find out. It ended up being blue, by the way. So everybody was going nuts. Trying to find out what it was.
I thought I heard a story that it came out clear. Everybody was betting on all these colors, and it came out clear.
Clear?
Maybe that's what it was. Is that
would have been hilarious.
They cut away and nobody got to see it.
Could you imagine if everybody just bet on these colors and then Kansas City looks on there and they're like, what color is not on this? And it's like maroon, and they're like, okay, let's dump maroon on this guy.
All right, guys. So we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk some NFL Combine. Like, obviously, the Combine is big news and near and dear to our heart here in the Indiana area. So we're going to talk a little bit about that right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeiser along with Wyatt Williams and Brandon Combs themselves, guys. We always have a great time here on the Man Hour. If you guys would like to watch us live, we are live on YouTube every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time. That's youtube.com/Man Hour. Or you can check us out on our website as well, manhourradio.com. So, Combs, NFL season is past us here. Wyatt, this is your time of year. You shine with your draft mock boards and stuff like that. But how we really start to judge the future of players and teams, etc., start with the NFL Combine. However, the NFL Combine has more or less been canceled. It is all going to be virtual at players' home stadiums. So, Wyatt, I am going to kick it to you first. Does this hurt players or help players in the end not having a Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium this year?
Well, I think it helps everybody for sure, simply because when you think about it, okay, when do you have your best numbers? Okay, when do you have your best everything? When you're at home, right? So when you're doing your 40s at your home school, there's going to be a little, you might be 0.2 under your actual time. Bo Jackson, right? Okay, they say Bo Jackson at his pro day ran a 4 flat. Do you know why Bo Jackson ran a 4 flat on his pro day? Because he ran it at Auburn. Of course he ran a 4 flat on his 40. Okay, everybody succeeds more whenever you're playing and practicing with the same equipment and the same facilities and the same people as you do every day. I mean, these guys have grown custom and regular to this for the last 3 to 4 years. Every single one of these guys has been there. They've seen this. They've done that. None of this is new to them. These are the same footballs. These are the same receivers. These are the same coaches that they're used to dealing with every single day. So it makes it, it takes the pressure off immensely. So all these guys show up and they're ready to go. They run their 40, maybe a yard short, or maybe they run their 40 with 0.2 less, or they jump a couple inches higher. I'm sure it helps everybody out, especially the guys, for example, like Kyle Trask and Trey Lance, those kind of guys who needed those good combine numbers to really up their stock. Those guys, it really helps out the most because they can, those scouting guys, they can put whatever they want on that little sheet over there, because they're the pro day guys. There's no NFL officials standing there with the laser timers and clocks, all that stuff. So you can do and say whatever you want there, and it's all good.
But see, I've never, I know you guys in Indy, you guys love your combine because they bring it to Indianapolis and you get to see all these guys do stuff in shorts and throw a football with no defender. The combine doesn't tell you anything that game film does not tell you. Your game film tells you everything you need to know about these guys on the field. Now, the interview process is the thing that you need, because you get to talk to a guy and you get his, you get the face-to-face meeting and all that stuff. But you already know who the best player is. Like, you take a guy like Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Watson, and Mitch Trubisky gets drafted ahead of Deshaun Watson by the Bears inexplicably because they say his meeting was better. He impressed them in the meeting. But if you watch the game film, there is no way Deshaun Watson is not the better option on the field in that draft. The combine doesn't really tell you how a player is going to perform on the field. What tells you that is the 4 years of game film that you get to watch of the kid play under pressure with a guy coming through the line untouched. How does he perform? How does he react? How does he adjust? How does he do this? How does he do that? The combine is not going to tell you that stuff.
Well, in I think the combine, the combine is what separates you from your game film. The combine is what separates you from everything. So say you've got two guys that are based equal. Say you've got two quarterbacks that you watch their game film, and one is a 9.4 out of 10 and one is a 9.5 out of 10. Pretty equal, but you say you've got that fourth pick. You're Atlanta, all right? And it's a toss-up between Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. Say it is. Okay, and you're like, all right, I want to see their combine. I want to interview them, all that stuff. I want to see their combine and see how they perform with the other athletes that are in this draft, and how they're going to perform under the circumstances that they'll be under.
But they're not in those circumstances in the combine. They're in shorts with no rush, no pass rush. They're in shorts. Zach Wilson and Justin Fields are thrown to guys who aren't in coverage. Who they say that they want to see how they're going to react with guys that are in this league as well. Well, then you know what? What I want to see at the combine is I want to see a guy, the best middle linebacker that's in this draft, and I want to see the best tackle that's in this draft, and I want to see the quarterback back there with the receiver, and just have them go one-on-one. And then I'll see how this quarterback's going to react. Because if the guy beats the left tackle and he comes through untouched and blasts this guy while he's in shorts, then I'm watching the combine. But until then, I already know who the better player is by watching them on the field.
You can't just allow them to kill each other right before the combine. This isn't the 90s, okay?
But then you don't know how he's going to react in the situation of game time situation. All that stuff tells you on the combine is that, yes, he's got a powerful arm. Yes, he can jump, whatever. He's got a 45-inch vertical. Or yes, he can run a 5'4" or a 4.3 40 in shorts with nobody in front of him, nobody playing bump and run coverage on him. That stuff you see during the game film. The only thing the combine is good for is the actual interview where you get to talk to these guys, or it's good for the kids coming out of the D3 colleges or the kids who are projected to be fourth round or below to, raise their draft stock. But these guys who are definite first round draft picks, these quarterbacks coming out, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Trask, you already know how these guys are going to perform because you've watched them. But that's what tells you.
But you don't know how they're performing just because they have not taken a college snap since December. Since that time, they have hired NFL trainers. They have NFL agents backing them.
Buck.
But they are improving. Before, they did not have the money or the backing to train like a professional athlete.
I disagree. These big name colleges you're telling me with the facilities that they have at Florida State, Ohio. I mean, we talk to Big Zen every week. We know what the facilities are like at Ohio. They have a damn game room. Where they get to go in and play Xbox. They have a professional style facility. They have professional style trainers. Like, they're not just bringing in some Joe Schmo off the streets. Hell, you go to the NFL, you get a doctor that punctures your lung with a needle. Like,
but on the flip side of that coin, there are personal trainers out there that work specifically just with quarterbacks, specifically just with a receiver. They fine tune your game. They literally break you down to ground zero and build you back.
You don't think Alabama and Ohio State have that too?
They don't have the time to spend one-on-one with you. You have 7 other quarterbacks in there that they're trying to fine tune. You get one-on-one attention. They break it down. They shorten your stance, arm motion, etc. The combine is for people that have questions of like, can this guy really run routes? Wyatt, pre-show, you brought up a great thing about Jared Jeudy, right? Like people were really like saying, can this guy really run great routes? And then they're blown away at the combine last year on his route running.
But see, that drives me insane, because how can you say at the combine he blows you away with his route running when he's not running up against anybody? The defenders in that combine, they're not trying to stop him.
Well, that's what they're not.
I mean, right?
They're not looking. You're correct, but they're not looking to stop him. They're looking for with route running is the cuts, the foot movement, the footwork. Those
why can't
precise
you see that
jabs.
during the game film? I mean, to me, that's what the game film is for. I see how he runs his routes in game.
Because he's had
his
5
cuts
months
when he's
to
in
improve
shorts
that.
against a guy who's not trying to stop him. I want to see how he's running his routes against guys who are trying to stop him. And let's be honest, these guys at this level, these wide receivers that are getting taken in the first, second, third round, these quarterbacks, running backs, offensive linemen taken in the first, second, and third round, you know how their game is. Yes, are they going to improve? Are they going to get bigger? Are they going to do that? Yes, that's going to happen throughout the course of their career as they grow in age, as they grow in IQ. Like, that stuff is... But their game is already what brought them to be a first, second, and third round draft pick in the NFL. Like, that's a one in I don't know how, whatever it is, like however many of these guys are. So you got 96 picks in the first 3 rounds, 96 guys out of how there's 3.5 million people in America, or billion people in America, and 96 of them are going in the first 3 rounds. That's an insane number. So they got there for a reason. They got there because of their play on the field. They didn't get there because of their play in practice. They didn't get there because of what they do during off-season workouts. They got there because of what they do during games.
I strongly disagree with that. Let's talk about a quarterback here named Jimmy Garoppolo. He was a backup in college, right? How did he get to the NFL? Practice film and the combine.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady was 199th pick overall.
Tom Brady had a terrible combine.
When he took off his shirt and everything in the combine, like, he looked like they just brought him in off the streets. Okay. And this guy is the greatest quarterback of all time, and 198 people passed on him. Like,
well, but nobody knew that. I mean, the guy wasn't even the best college. The guy wasn't even the best quarterback at Michigan at the time that he was there.
That's why I am saying like the combine doesn't tell you. The combine completely does not tell you the entire story. The game film does.
But it does, because
the game film did not tell Tom Brady was the greatest of all time. Go watch Tom Brady's college game film.
And who was he a backup behind? Buck?
Chad Henne.
Your boy there.
The Chad Henne.
So I don't know. To me, it's about game film. Yes, you can tell a lot more. And as being a guy who owned his own business, I know people can put on their resume whatever the hell they want, and it could look great. And then when you meet them, you're like, yeah, I don't think that'll work. You know what I mean? So I understand that part of it, and I understand that part of the business is what's needed. But I don't care what a guy does in the combine. You know, I don't care if I'm looking at a wide receiver, say I'm looking at, I don't care, Devontae Smith, okay? Devontae Smith, to me, is the best wide receiver in this draft as a GM. And he comes in, and he just, I'm going with him, and he doesn't have the best 40 time. He doesn't have the best route running. He doesn't have the best jumping. He doesn't have the best this. But in game, the guy is a beast. So am I going to pass on him because his combine score wasn't there? But in his meeting, I loved him. I loved talking to the kid. I loved doing this. And I've seen what he can do on the field. No, I'm taking him because I've seen what he can do on the field, and I loved him during the interview process. So the combine should just be an interview. What?
Well, but just looking at Devonta Smith is not what it's about. It's about comparing players, really. So, like, Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle, for example, those could be 2 guys, or Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. Okay, those 2 players, okay, Jamar Chase and now it's slipping me, Jalen Waddle. Those 2 players will be decided who goes first and second. I truly do believe by their combine. Same thing with Travis Etienne, and same thing. with
I
Najee
disagree
Harris.
because Najee Harris and Travis Etienne are two different style running backs. Travis Etienne is your traditional, what they would love to have in New England, a guy who can come out of the backfield, catch dump passes, do all that stuff, and he's very, very fast. That's a traditional style what New England like. New England's not going to look at a Najee Harris because a Najee Harris is a up and down runner out of the backfield who likes to plow people over, hurdle freaking human beings while they're standing upright, which is still phenomenal to me. And that's just it. You're
he's
looking
a
at
pass
Travis
catching back
Etienne
too.
and Najee Harris as what fits your system better. You already know who you would rather have. It's just a matter of who's available when you get to pick.
Well, the Patriots aren't taking a running back anyways, but it's not about the Patriots. It's about those teams that can't decide what kind of running back they want. It's say, I don't know off the top of my head. Like,
then you need a new GM if you don't know what type of running back you want. Like,
how?
I don't understand the first three picks from the first 3 rounds. I don't understand how you don't already know what you want. If you don't know that Najee Harris or Travis Etienne fit your style better, then you don't know the game. Like, they're two totally different running backs. You go up against wide receivers.
They're
and
really
you talk
not
about
that different,
Devontae
actually. The only difference is that Najee Harris can truck you more. He's better with running the ball a little bit.
He's a power back.
He is not a power back. Did you see him
You don't
hurdle
think
somebody?
Najee Harris is a power back?
You tell me. No, he's not. He's an all-around back. Power backs don't hurdle people, Combs. He can truck very well, but that doesn't mean he's a power back. Power backs do not lift themselves off the.
I've seen Derrick Henry hurdle people too. You don't think Derrick Henry's a power back?
I don't think I've ever seen Derrick. I've seen Derrick Henry sturtle. I've seen Derrick Henry stiff arm people.
I'll send you some videos of Derrick Henry hurdling people. Derrick Henry's a freaking.
I'm sure,
but
and I'm sure he's a
back.
crazy athlete. But Najee Harris is not just a straight up and down. When I say power back, I'm talking about your just dude that'll hand off the ball and just eat forward. Derrick Henry is a prime example of that.
Najee Harris the ball 25 times in a game. Is he that type of running back?
I would hand him the ball a little under 20 and throw him the ball 8 times. I think he's a receiving back as well. He has upside catching the ball.
Travis Etienne is going to get maybe 10 attempts a game, but he's going to be in there.
No, I think Travis Etienne gets a lot of attempts. I think Travis Etienne is about the same way.
I don't think he does at all.
He broke the ACC record for rushing yards.
Again, the college game is very different than the pro game. So that's why everybody blows me away with their love for Trevor Lawrence, because watching him in the college game and what he's doing is not going to translate in the NFL. There are a lot of guys who put up great numbers in college. First one that comes to mind is Tim Tebow. Puts up great numbers in college, but can't translate to the NFL. So you could talk about the numbers all that you want. I want to see how they perform in game, the decisions that they're making, the things that they're doing.
Here,
Travis
let me read
Etienne
this
is
to
not
you.
an every down back at all.
Travis Etienne holds the rushing record with 4,952 rushing yards from scrimmage, 6,100 and 77 touchdowns total, and 14 just this year. That's not a running back to you. That's not a guy you can hand the ball off to. He's
Travis
a speed
Etienne
back.
is
He's not a
an
trucking.
every down back in the NFL.
What is your definition of every down back?
Guys like Derrick Henry, he is not an every down back.
So every team should have a Derrick Henry. I wish every team had a Derrick Henry. It would be a much more entertaining league.
Travis Etienne is more of like a God. I'm trying to think of some of these running backs the Patriots have had over the years.
Travis Etienne is an Aaron Jones. It's exactly what he is.
No.
How is he not?
Travis Etienne is not going to be a top 5 running back in the league. He's not.
No, I'm not saying he has the. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying his play style is just like that, where he can run the ball very well. He's not going to truck you. He's going to go around you. He's not stupid. Okay, he's played football in his body for years now.
Aaron
Jones does not truck that much. He really doesn't. He's a pass catching back that's a decent ball carrier. It's exactly what Travis Etienne is.
So before we move to the next topic here, Combs, you brought up some pretty good points of like why the combine is good in your argument of why the combine is bad. So what you said is that the college game is not the same as the NFL. You are 100% correct. When you go to the combine, many of these guys, this is the first time they are being on a college field.
Pro field.
A NFL field. The hashes are closer, so you have more room to work on the outside, and you have to get 2 feet in bounds versus just the one. So receivers, you have a big change there, and then you have to see the arm talent of the quarterbacks as well, from throwing from middle of the field to outside.
You've already seen the arm talent for 4 years.
No, but when
Holmes, have you ever seen a play where a quarterback is lined up at the 1 yard line and they throw it as hard and as far as they can? Do you see that on every single highlight tape? Because that's what these guys. That's what they do. They line them up and they have them throw like.
You're telling
60,
me that
70
if you
yard
go
bombs.
right now and you look up a Trevor Lawrence hype tape, they're not going to show him, when they're backed up on the one trying to throw a go route. You're damn right you're going to be able to see
Well, but
that.
all you see on those is a fade that ends up going for like 30 yards. That's all you see. You don't see these guys back up and absolutely throw. I mean, genuinely throw the ball.
How many
80
times
yard.
in a season
80,
are you going to have
60
to
or
have
70.
your are you going to have your quarterback back up at the 1 yard line and throw it 99 yards? I don't care if he can throw it 99 yards.
It happens
What I
to
care
Chiefs
is whether or not he
sometimes,
can
yeah.
hit. But that's what I'm saying. I don't
But it's
care
good to
how
see if
far
your
he can throw
quarterback
the
can
ball.
do certain things like that. That's what it's for. So how about this? We'll take this for an example. Let's say the Bears, your team, right? Okay, let's say that there's 2 good quarterbacks, right? The Bears need all of that. Okay, they
Bears
probably
will
should just
pass
draft
and
both
take
of
a
them.
guy who's projected to go undrafted.
Exactly. But let's say there's 2 good quarterbacks here, okay? Quarterback A and quarterback B are virtually the same on highlights, okay? They both have great highlight reels. They're both A guys. They're good interviews, but would you then use the combine to see what their athletic gifts are and to answer your final questions you have before you do it? Okay, basically what it is, the combine is basically like when you're dating that girl, right? Okay, and you go on that first date and you're talking, right? And you can't figure out if you like her or if you don't, but you just want to test the waters to see if it works, right? So you go to dinner, okay? The combine is your dinner. You're
Tread lightly
testing
there,
the
son.
waters. You're testing the waters, okay? That's what the combine is. They're sticking their toe in the pool to see how cold it is, right?
Yes,
That's all
for
they're doing.
the Division III guys and for the guys projected to go 4th round or later, yes, I completely agree with you. But and also in your scenario, I can't take your scenario seriously because if the Bears have quarterback A and quarterback B and they love them both and they're both great and they both are projected to be top 10 quarterbacks of all time, with the 24th pick in the 2021 draft, the Bears select Wyatt Williams from the Man Hour to be their quarterback. That's what
I would
happen.
turn the Bears franchise around. I'm just saying, okay? Like,
You are
Yeah,
a
you would.
Division I athlete since 8th
I'm a
grade,
Division I
right?
athlete, okay?
Yeah,
I
just
am.
the way it is. All right, guys, so we are going to take our last break here on the Man Hour. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the podcast form over there. You can download us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. And, of course, we got the blog section over there as well. So stay tuned for much more here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Wyatt Williams himself. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, like I said, you can download us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. Or you can catch the live show every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. So, guys, we have talked about the NFL Combine. We have talked about the Super Bowl. But there is some more offseason news that is happening. Basically, Carson Wentz is the biggest hot commodity right now, besides Deshaun Watson, being talked about and being traded. So, Combs, you are a Bears fan, and
Why are you doing this?
this is where Carson Wentz is projected to land. They are, quote, working out a deal per the Bleacher Report. So, Combs, is Carson Wentz your guys' future quarterback?
Probably because the Bears are stupid. They're going to go out and they are going to get the name brand version of Mitch Trubisky, and his name is Carson Wentz. And I've said this before. If you take Carson Wentz and you take Mitch Trubisky and you go to the grocery store and you're in the cereal aisle. You've got Cocoa Pebbles on your left and it's $4.50 for a box. And right next to it, you got a 5-pound bag of Cocoa Rocks and it's $2.50 for the 5-pound bag. And the only difference is there's 2% of an ingredient off. So Mitch Trubisky is the Cocoa Rocks and Carson Wentz is the Cocoa Pebbles. It's absolutely asinine to me to think that you are going to go out and trade what you're going to trade for Carson Wentz when there are so many other quarterbacks out there. This is the Nick Foles signing from last year all over again. You've got all these quarterbacks available and your big signing is Nick Foles. The Bears are Ryan Pace makes me want to kick puppies. Like, I can't stand his decision making is absolutely awful. He can't draft. He can't see talent. He definitely can't pick a damn quarterback. But we're giving him another year in the GM seat so that he can go ahead and run this organization further into the ground. God, I hate when you guys do this to me. Now I gotta.
Okay, Combs, I get it. You know, you're getting up there in age. Okay, you're worried about which Cocoa Rice, Cocoa Pebbles is less expensive. I get it. You're in your cheap phase. Okay, I understand.
No, my parents don't buy me my cereal.
but here's the deal. Okay, you're not comparing cocoa. You're comparing Cocoa Rice to a filet mignon. Okay. That Carson Wentz is a filet mignon, okay? Carson Wentz, when healthy, when 100%, when healthy, and he has an offensive line and some weapons, Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL when healthy.
You are losing so much football credibility with me right now. I was like, this kid really knows his football stuff. He really knows his football stuff. And then you come at me. Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Carson Wentz,
when healthy,
for over
and when
4,000 yards once in his career, and that wasn't even the season that he was an MVP where he only threw for 3,200 yards. Like,
threw for 3,200 yards in 13 games. 3,200 yards in 13 games.
That's great.
Yeah, that's all he played. He didn't even play 13 games. He played, what would that be? That would be like 12. He played like 12 and a half games. That's what he played.
He's played he's played 2 full seasons because he can't stay healthy.
Because he didn't have any protection.
The guy has reached 4,000 yards. The guy has reached 4,000 yards once in his career. His touchdown to interception ratio is basically 2-1. Like, it is not even like how is he a top 10 quarterback? I don't understand.
His MVP season.
His completion percentage of his career is 62.7. He's had one season where he's been over 63.9% completion percentage. Like, the guy has been a 7-9 quarterback, an 11-2 that one year in 2017 when Nick Foles took over and won the Super Bowl for him. So they were a really damn good team. Then he was 5-6, 9-7, and 3-8-1. Like, I don't understand what you can possibly be looking at that tells you Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback in this league. Like, people thought I was nuts when I said Jameis Winston is a top 10 quarterback in this league. At least Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns.
Yeah, but he had 30-plus picks. Like, that there doesn't even compare, okay? Here's the reason. You ready?
You're out of your
mind. First off, he doesn't have any offensive line of protection at all.
Okay.
His head coach and his offensive line are as good as a can of cheese. Okay, that's how good they are, right? Doug Peterson got fired for a reason.
I like canned cheese.
And Jameis Winston had the same problem with play calling because Tampa Bay was horrible with their play calling until Tom Brady took it over.
Okay, and I get that, but here's the deal. First off, let's start with the stats, right? Stats are going to lie to you, okay? Of course, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen have better stats because they have weapons. They have protection. They have good coaches.
Oh, my God. Of course. Carson Wentz had weapons. Stop it.
What weapons? What weapons?
Who?
Nelson Aguilar?
He had Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson
Jeffrey is 972 years old. He's the only person on planet Earth who's older than you, Combs.
Nelson Aguilar lit it up this year in Vegas.
And with the Raiders, not with. Did you watch his Eagles film?
With a good quarterback.
No.
Oh, come on. Stop it. Stop. You are making a fool of yourself on live radio in Louisville right now.
There were people in Philadelphia. Okay, there was a guy, right? There was a house fire. You ever seen this film? So there's a house fire, right? This guy comes up to the window and he is like,
his name was Carson Wentz.
No. He comes up to the thing and he's like, "Hey, drop the baby down to me." And on the news film, he goes, "I was trying to not channel my inner Nelson Aguilar." Okay, this guy is talking about a house fire, catching a baby, and saving its life, and all he can think about is how bad Nelson Aguilar is.
Because
and he's an Eagles fan.
because he didn't want to channel his Nelson Aguilar because he didn't want to spike the baby in the end zone. That's what
he
it was.
wanted to
Because
drop
that's what
it.
Nelson
He
Aguilar
wanted to drop
does.
it.
Is he scores touchdowns.
Oh my God, you're nuts. We got to put you in a home,
Look,
okay?
this guy,
it's getting a
you're
little
talking
crazy
about
with
a
it.
guy who threw 16 touchdowns and 14 interceptions his first year, and then yes, he went 33-7 that year in 2017 when they won the
Then
Super
he
Bowl.
exploded.
Then he was 21-7. Then he was 27-7, and then he was 16-15 this past year.
You just named me 3 good seasons. I'll take 27-7 from an NFL quarterback any day of the week.
All right, so let's take his
It's coming from an Aaron Rodgers fan.
60%
That's coming from a guy who doesn't
completion
throw
percentage.
interceptions. Say it again.
Oh my God, his yards per catch, he averaged 12 yards. So most of those touchdowns were probably yards after the catch. Because his receivers were doing
Nelson
stuff.
Aguilar, I don't disagree with you. Nelson Aguilar was great with the Raiders. He's been great since he left.
He
but
was
here's
great
the deal.
his first year with Philly too.
He was not.
He hasn't been
Nelson
healthy.
Aguilar has been
He's been
trash.
That's
I need
how
to take
he
you
came
over
out,
to-
and that's why people knew his name was because of his first season with the Eagles.
No.
So you're saying one good season, so he should be the best weapon.
No.
since
I'm
Spreads
saying
came
that's
to the
why
Eagles.
you're saying he didn't have a. It was that 2017 season when they went.
He
to
had
the
a
Super Bowl.
mediocre season, and he wasn't even the leading receiver on that team. Aguilar was not. It was Jeffrey was the leading receiver on that team, but Jeffrey
he
wasn't
had
even
eight
that good.
He had 8 touchdowns that year, and he averaged 12.4 yards a catch.
And no, we cannot talk about, if you're going to talk about wide receivers and you're going to talk about weapons, the wide receivers have never been the weapons for Carson Wentz. They've always sucked. It's always been his tight end play. Okay, the Ertz, the Goddard, those names, that has been the weapons for him. That's been the only significant. Zach Ertz is trash now because guys don't last long in
Watch
Philly.
your tongue. Zach Ertz is not trash, son.
He
Did
is
you
not
watch
very good
his-
right now.
He's not very good because of
Combs.
the quarterback that's throwing to him.
No, because of the coaching.
What do you mean,
Everybody
no?
succeeds when they leave Philly. Watch and see. Carson
The
Wentz, when
only
he leaves Philly, will be better than what he was in Philly. Just like Nelson Aguilar. That's a perfect example, Combs. He was trash in Philly. He leaves Philly, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh God, Nelson Aguilar can catch the football.
He completed only 57% of his passes this year.
Because Nelson Aguilar dropped all his
He
passes.
threw for more interceptions than he threw for touchdowns.
Well, he's okay. And here's also a big problem that he's had. He's always got a backup creeping up his back. He has never once. Carson Wentz has
Who was
never
creeping
once
up his
had-
back? Nick Foles?
Yes, 24/7. Then Jalen Hurts this year.
Nick Foles was never going to be the starter. Come on. Nick
They
Foles
named him
is
the
a
starter
career
for
backup.
several weeks.
Nick Foles is a career backup who is only going to be a backup, and everybody knows that. He had that one good playoff run that he did because they had a really good team that year, and that's Carson Wentz led that team 11-2, and that's what he was doing. And then Nick Foles steps in and took them to a Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady, because the team was good.
Oh my God, Combs! Once again, I'm telling you, man, it's okay. You're losing your mind. I get it. Okay, it's all right.
No,
These
I'm
things
not
happen.
losing my mind. You just say stupid stuff sometimes.
These
All right,
things
guys.
happen, man.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and wrap up the Carson Wentz to the Chicago Bears talk because we all know it is going to happen. But let me
And then I hope you guys are right. I hope he is a top 10 quarterback if he comes to the Bears.
He will
let
be.
me present you guys some breaking news that just came in to the man hour here. JJ
Please be
Watt,
Carson Wentz.
Jason Watt is being released by the Houston Texans. So, so we heard it all offseason that the rumblings in Houston that their ownership and leadership is all bad. Deshaun Watson wants out. They traded out Hopkins last year, and now they have released arguably the face of the franchise of JJ Watt.
Why wouldn't you say, hey, JJ, we're going to let you choose what team you want to go to, and we'll work a trade just so you get something? Why would you just let him go?
I cannot
say,
answer
hey,
that question.
you want to go to
whatsoever.
Pittsburgh?
He's got a 2-minute video on Twitter right now
I'm
of an
gonna
explanation.
I'm going to trade you to the Pittsburgh Steelers since that's where you want to go and play with your brothers. Call Pittsburgh and be like, hey, just give me a 5th-round pick and JJ's yours. Like instead of
well, but
releasing him and
JJ
getting
wanted to
nothing-
experiment. JJ wanted to get his own pay. That's what usually happened. Is
But
he
you're still
wanted to
gonna
be
get your
released
own
that
pay.
way.
You can go talk to Pittsburgh and be like, hey, yeah, look, they're allowing me to talk to you. I want to be traded to you. This is what I'm looking to get. Can we make it happen? Like you could do that.
Well, but once you trade, it's a whole lot more difficult rather than just signing. It's much more difficult, and plus, it's much better for JJ Watt because he might not want to go to Pittsburgh. Whereas if he didn't want, he does absolutely, but he didn't want the Texans to be in control of this. Okay, because if the Texans were in control of this, who knows? He might have ended up on an NBA team. Okay, we have no clue. We've seen the leadership and the ownership of the Texans, right?
JJ Watt
we have
gets
no
traded
clue.
to the Rockets for
He could have ended up on a baseball team. Who knows? All right. The Pittsburgh the Texans front office is terrible. It's been terrible for years. We all know this, okay? We talk about this all the time on the show. But he just wanted it to be in his own hands. He wanted to go discuss numbers. He wanted to do all the negotiating and all the talking. He didn't want to leave it up to the Texans because simply as if the Texans were doing it, then like I said, seriously, we don't know. He might have ended up on a CFL team or a hockey team. Who knows? He might be on ice skates right now. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have at least given him something for it. So that's just.
But
I don't know, man. I can't.
They do get something by releasing him. They get like a 6th-round consistency pick, much like
they
what
get
the
all
Panthers,
that cap space back too.
Yeah, so they do get a little something in return, but definitely not what they could have got if they just would have flat out traded him, right? So.
Yep.
I wish they would have.
Let me.
I wish they would have asked him, like, "Hey, where do you want to go? You know, like, what do you want to do? We will trade you there because we want to get something out of this, but we're not just gonna." I mean, I get it. I wouldn't have released him honestly because I mean, I get where JJ's coming from. He wants to write his own journey. He wants to do all that stuff. Good, great, whatever. But as for the Texans, I think that he should have been a little more understanding with the fact that they got to get something out of it too because, like Buck said. He is the face of that franchise and has been for years. I mean, that was like as a kid growing up, I always remember I always wanted to be like JJ Watt. When I played football, that was my big thing. It was everybody wants to be like JJ Watt. They want to have the big sack and then they want to do the dance or whatever. You know, whether if you're surfing then you jump up on the surfboard, whatever it may be. Everybody wants that, right? So he's the face of the franchise. I wish that I don't care about. I think the Texans kind of wish that they could have possibly got something out of it, like maybe sat down and talked to him, like, hey, where are you looking at going? We'll allow you to tell these teams that you want to go there. We'll allow you to talk to these teams, kind of what Combs said, and then move forward with it. Be like, hey, JJ wants to come to your team. He's going to talk to you. JJ talks with them, all that great stuff. Talks about money. Everybody agrees. Okay, now what can you give us for JJ? We want because I think they can get a 2nd-round pick out of JJ. Okay, he is a top defensive end in the league right now. Once again, another one of those players, if he's healthy, I think he could arguably be the best in the league. Absolutely. I mean, the guy has multiple seasons where he led the NFL in sacks. He almost broke the sack record, or he did one or the other. It was very close in that one season a couple of years back. So he's a good defensive end. So I think they could have at least got, I don't know about 2nd. I don't know why I said probably a 3rd-round pick for him. I think a 3rd-round pick would be fair.
Yeah, something's better than nothing. I mean,
exactly.
That's just the way I think. Before we get out of here, though, let me debunk your Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback. And I'm going to do it through you here, okay? Would you take Carson Wentz over Josh Allen?
No.
Would you take him over Tua?
No.
Okay. Would you take him over Lamar?
No.
Okay. Would you take him over Patty Mahomes?
No.
Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Dak Prescott?
No.
Tom Brady?
No.
Let's go with Justin Herbert.
No, but I'll say yes to Tua. I'll take that back.
Oh my God! Now you're gonna take one back. Okay. Dak Prescott.
You already said Dak, and I said no.
Deshaun Watson.
No.
Let's go with Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
You are out of your freaking mind.
Healthy and 100% Carson Wentz is an amazing Carson Wentz.
What's the kid's name in Arizona? Escaping me right now.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
No.
Yes. Come on.
Oh my God.
Maybe even no.
Matt Stafford.
Yes.
Russell Wilson.
Possibly, but no.
Okay, so then there's 10 that you would not take him over.
As of right now, when he's healthy at 100%.
Okay, so then he's not a top 10 quarterback, is what you just told me.
I said when he's healthy at 100%, when he's healthy, he's 100%. He's a top 10 quarterback. Right now, he's not 100%. We haven't seen him yet. If he's healthy,
he's
100%,
not a top 10 quarterback. When he's healthy and 100%, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
When he's healthy and 100%, I would take him. I would take him over.
He hasn't been
I would
healthy
take him over
his entire
Wilson.
career.
Wilson's too inconsistent at the end of the year. I would take him over Prescott if he's 100%. I would take him over Herbert if he's 100%.
His own team wouldn't take him over Jalen Hurts. His own team.
That's because his offense is idiots. They're ridiculous in Philly.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the new blog section and the merchandise section as well. You can find us all on Twitter as well.
Hey, we're not waking him up next week. We're not waking him up next week for the show.
All right, guys, that's it. We won't wake him up. Have a good day.